It's been a few days, so I've kind of got an idea of where these cards kind of sit now in the meta. We mainly talk about the rotation meta because a lot of these cards have different places in Unlimited. I'll start off here with Green Glen Axeman. I rated him maybe like kind of like a middle ground card. He seems to still have that kind of spot. People are playing him in mid-range control kind of forest builds. The rush really helps. He kind of acts as a piece of removal while setting you up for some late game burst. So he kind of does exactly what he said, is meant to do. Might be a little bit more powerful than I thought he was, because what has happened is the mid-range and kind of controlling forest builds have added more fairies into their deck to complement him. Storied Falconer. I said that aggro forest would probably want to play 1 or 2 copies of this, and they play 2 to 3 copies of this. I didn't really, when I talked about him, I didn't really think of what people would cut for it. They've cut the Paula from the deck and replaced it with Storied Falconer. I think he's a better card in aggro for that. I played around with him a little bit. The Bane, I underestimated how good this Bane would be. The Bane from that applied to the Sky Raptors, actually pretty good. So playing multiple Falconers is beneficial, because the more Falconers you play before you evolve one of them, the more Sky Raptors you have with Bane, since it applies Bane to all of them. It also benefits from cards like Barrage, where you can bounce them back to your hand and then play them again, get another Sky Raptor. Very solid card. A little better than I thought he was going to be, mainly because I didn't know what people would cut, and I realized that he's actually better than some other cards in Forest. Spartacus. He's done really nothing in rotation. I played with him in Unlimited. He's a really fun card to play with. You're definitely going to see him a lot there because of Altered Fate, but I don't think he's really got a spot in rotation right now. Dario, he's good. I've seen him. He's been really annoying, but he can play around him pretty well. And being a 2/1 is really hurts him. If he was a 2/2, he would be much better. Because he dies to new Dragon Legendary Feline, the 1 damage from Revolve will just kind of nullify his ability to soak up removal. Maybe Sword didn't need him. Kind of helps Sword, but he's just gets countered by a more powerful card. I have not seen Faust at all. I still think he's okay. I just that kind of rune deck just doesn't seem to be doing that well right now. Burgent, I said she was kind of slow. I've never seen her. Been played. I have nothing else to say about her. Maybe there'll be a deck for her in the future, but right now, not good enough. Feline is really good. I had the problem when I talked about it earlier. I kind of fell into a pattern of just comparing her to other cards, but in rotation she's really good. She hard counters a lot of the previous tier 1 decks like Ginger and Heavenly Knight, Haven. It does really well against Sword. I think she Sword's kind of fallen off from tier 1. Probably could on a tier 2 deck. And it's like a big reason of that is because of Feline. It just gives a dragon such a good early game boost, and her ability can help you. Like, I think problem was before with dragon versus sword that the dragon's early game was kind of weak, and then they fell behind. And then if you fall behind against sword, sword's like a kind of a Winmar deck because cards like Mars and the Skyship, the Sky Fortress. Those two cards are a lot like they punish the opponent for not clearing the board, and Feline really helps get that board control in the early game. And then as you transition to late game, you can take care of cards like the Fortress and Arthur. And again, she does counter Ninja decks, Haven decks, like the clean answer to Zeus if you can get a little bit of damage on him. And like I said in my previous video, her being 2 play points really helps because of PDK. Lets you activate PDK. A really good interaction is if you PDK on the board, you play her, and it pings like a big follower. You can use the Whisper to finish off that follower. Yeah, very, very good card. Dragonplate Warrior. I still think he's good. I had some fun playing with him in Unlimited. Don't think there's enough. I just think that the PDK build for Dragon's better than like a spell kind of base build. So you won't see him as much. I still think he's a solid card, just not not as good as playing a PDK kind of deck. You don't really need him as a finisher in those decks. Arcris, he's actually very powerful. So what I didn't know when I first evaluated this card was the fanfares actually still work. So when you play a 2-drop or 3-drop, 1-drop, their fanfares still go off. I thought that it would just kill them immediately, that they wouldn't get any of those abilities. But since they get their fanfares, you can cycle through your 2-drops and 3-drops, 1-drops really fast because the fanfares that draw you cards will still do that. So he's actually pretty solid. Shadowcraft still has problems with its early game against like Dragon, Forest, Sword. So like it's good, but just Shadowcraft still has those problems, and I don't think like playing 7-drop that essentially does nothing on the turn you play it is just really bad, even though his effect is usually game winning if you can survive long enough. It just, if you fall behind early game, can't win with this deck. Lord Deathskull, I don't think he's better than other 2-drops you can play. He's still fine, but because he doesn't draw you cards, you can't cycle well with Arcris. And the only shadow deck that's probably worth playing right now is Arcris deck in rotation. I may go over like a deck tech for it. I really like that deck. I just don't think it's super good. But it's really brought Shadow from like D tier to maybe C+ tier. Waltz. I was like lukewarm on him. I'm still lukewarm on him, but a lot of people actually like him a lot. He's a lot like Mars, as in if you don't have an answer for him, he snowballs. Very snowbally card. Every time I've seen him played, I just kill him. It's really easy to kill him. But if you're going first and you go like Imp into Waltz, you can protect him, and if he survives, you essentially get a free pass into the mid game. Interestingly, people are starting to play the skyship now again in Blood, which kind of wasn't like kind of people stopped playing it because of Blood Wolf rotating out. But that's kind of interesting that then it's come back because of Waltz. Raven, I haven't really seen her much. Don't think she's really got a place right now. Because people are playing Skyship in their Vengeance decks, you can't really play Raven in those decks. You just like play Skyship and pull a 1/1. So if you're not playing with Skyship, maybe you play her, but kind of have to have a different deck than the Vengeance deck. Yeah, right now she's not that great. Maybe in the future she'll have a place, but right now it's a pass on her. Toon Common, haven't really seen him at all. I think he's just kind of awkward to play. And yeah, I haven't seen him. Not much to say about him. I got to play with White Fang Temple a lot. I think this card's really good. I went on a semi-good win streak with Tenko Cannon in rotation. And this card's like, it does work. You play it on turn 3, and you get to absorb kind of like heal the damage you take in the early game, lets you get into your mid game, late game. And once you get there, you get the 6/6, like out of nowhere. So it's really hard to deal with for like quite a few decks. Yeah, and like activating Tenko's cannons, like a big bonus. I've had games where I just win with the temple and not even have the Tenko cannon yet. Rhino's bad, still bad. But there's a fun video I saw with GameWith where they saw like what happens if you get its attack to 1000 and then you play a Chronos and then you draw 1000 cards. Because there's like more than 1000 cards in your deck because of the Rhinos. You get like 1000 Rhinos in your deck, you play this. He's 1000 attack, you play Chronos. You draw 1000 cards. That's pretty fun to see what happens. Heartless Battle. I rated it poorly. Like mediocre. I haven't seen it. I stick with my opinion that it's mediocre. Oceanus, again, doesn't really have a place right now. Potentially you play her in Tenko Cannon. I just think there's better cards in Haven. A lot of the cards, I undervalued some cards, and I was surprised that they're doing as well as they are. But mostly, I think it's exactly as I thought it would be. I said White Fang Temple would be really good if Tenko Cannon became a deck, and it's become a deck. And yeah, as I said it would be. The Arcus deck's pretty powerful. I didn't know that the fan fighters will still work, and since that's still like, because of that, much stronger than I thought it would be. Thanks for watching. I'll put up some more videos, and you can always check my stream. A link in the description. See you guys later.